Now, y'all know this hair type chart has had the community in a chokehold for years, and people are tired of it. Hey guys, welcome to my video. It's CammyJOfficial, so let's start the show. My name is Cammy. Welcome back to my channel. Let's go ahead and get right to the video. Now, if you have ever heard the term natural hair, then you have probably run across this chart. Not only this chart, but so many different iterations of this same chart. So we're gonna get into why this chart even exists, how it affected the natural hair community, and why this hair chart made people actually quit being natural and quit the natural hair community overall. Yes, something this simple can drive a wedge between people who are trying to, or who thought they were trying to, reach the same common goal. So who created this hair type chart, right? The hair type chart that we naturals just can't seem to get away from. Well, this person is actually associated with somebody that we all know, who happens to be Oprah Winfrey. Yes, this hair chart is associated with Oprah Winfrey, actually by way of her hairstylist. So Oprah's hairstylist, Andre Walker, was the person who created the infamous hair type chart. Now, you may ask, why did he create this chart? And you would be surprised to know the reason why this hair type chart even exists. It exists because Mr. Walker wanted to sell hair products. Yes, he created this hair chart solely to promote and to sell his line of hair care that was coming out at the time. Are we surprised that this hair type chart has something to do with capitalism and people spending their money? I am definitely not surprised that this was a tactic that was used for him to get his products to sell. And it was a very smart tactic because guess what, guys? His hair type chart still is a mainstay in the natural hair community today. I mean, the hair type chart is up there, okay? It is on a pedestal. So one big way this hair type chart helped to ruin the natural hair community is honestly because people began to take this hair type chart that this gentleman created to sell his hair products as a marketing tool to sell the hair care line that he was creating. People took the hair type chart and they made it the gospel of the natural hair community. I mean, you could not look left or look right in the natural hair community without this chart somehow being brought up, without this chart being referenced. I mean, it just became, okay, a pillar of the natural hair community. So it became just a focal point when it should not have been. We gave it way too much importance in the natural hair community. And that was honestly the beginning of how this hair type chart started to ruin the natural hair community as a whole. Now, listen, y'all, I'm not saying that the hair type chart is the sole reason why the natural hair community went down the drain. I mean, you can watch video after video after video of people telling you why they are personally, or why they personally divested from the natural hair community. But this natural hair type chart definitely played a role in why a lot of people decided to take a full step back away from being natural and the community as a whole. People began to take this chart way too seriously. Way too seriously. People were not even making any moves, y'all, unless they saw some type of hair type referenced on the hair products that they were using. So this hair type chart was actually criticized very heavily throughout the years because many people believe that this hair type chart established a hierarchy. And low-key, it really does. It really does establish a hierarchy because what does it show you at the very front of the hair type chart? It shows you type 1 hair, and type 1 hair actually at that time, per the hair type chart, made people feel as though that the type 1 hair was the baseline or the most desirable hair type to go for because it was set at the very beginning of the chart. And many people, when they read the hair type chart, they felt like type 1 hair is the gold standard, and everything that moves away from type 1 hair is in some way a deviation of the perfection that was set out, with type 1 hair being the golden standard. So a big way that this hair type chart ruined the natural hair community is because it caused so many arguments, so much infighting, so much bickering, and so much back and forth, y'all. People were constantly arguing about whose hair fell more closely in line with whatever number and letter were associated with this hair type chart that was simply made to sell this man's products, right? This all goes back to people taking it way too seriously. I have seen so many people attacked in the comments for typing their hair when they've done a video, right? People will come under there and say, no, your hair is not type XYZ. Your hair is really this. People were trying to say you don't fit in to this category as well. So if you call yourself a type this, that, you're not. And people would just be going back and forth in the comments. Like, you would think this hair type chart was paying their bills. The way that they are defending, right? Defending this chart, and the way that they are arguing people up and down about what their perceived hair type is. And that is like a big problem to me, because I'm like, why are people expending so much energy trying to tell someone else what their hair isn't? That's why a lot of people felt like this hair type chart also added to like the natural hair police, people trying to police people's hair, tell them what to do, tell them how their hair is supposed to look, tell them how their hair is supposed to feel, and that whole thing, right? So the infighting and the bickering and the arguing about who fits more into what category was definitely a negative and detrimental thing that this chart did to the natural hair community. So this hair type chart is a problem because not everyone is going to fit perfectly into these categories. I myself have multiple curl patterns in my head, right? So there's no way for me to perfectly fit within one box. I just have to generalize it. Many people do not fit in these examples. And because of that, they kind of feel like they are alienated from the natural hair community because they feel like they don't have a place where they belong because their curls or their lack thereof do not look like anything that is represented on these hair charts. I have said for a long time when I first saw this chart, I said this chart needs to be expanded because hair goes beyond 4C natural hair. There are people's hair who are a lot kinkier than the 4C representation that is shown on that chart. And again, people have said, I've seen people in the comments say, no, this chart needs to go to like 4G, 4F. Some people have even suggested that there needs to be a type 5 added to the hair type chart because it's just not expansive enough. It does not incorporate all the uniqueness, the beauty, and the diversity that exists within the realm of natural hair. And let me give y'all an example. There was a YouTuber that I was following for quite some time, like a decade ago. And she would, post her videos and whatnot. And she would, hair type her hair as everyone was doing. And she would get so many people telling her, not only is she mistyping her hair, they were also telling her that she had like severe heat damage as well. And it got to the point where she got on YouTube and she posted her pictures of when she was a child, okay, when she was like 4 or 5 years old, and showed people her hair. And she was like, y'all, my hair isn't heat damaged. This is just how her hair grows out of her scalp. But because at that time people were so, married to this hair type chart, they were telling her like, no, your hair is heat damage. And she's like, she don't even use heat. So where is the damage coming from? And that's just one example, right, of how this hair type chart can really steer people wrong and can cause others to alienate people and push people out of the natural hair community. The hair type chart can be very lacking because it doesn't take into the individual nuances of your hair. You can have fine hair, you can have medium hair, and you can have coarse hair, and those things can fall in the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4 category, or be a mix of all of those things. So the most ironic thing to me about the hair type chart, when it comes to the arguments that it constantly spurs online, is the fact that the people that I see arguing the most about hair type in the comments are people who have type 4 natural hair, or people who say that they have type 4 natural hair, right? And the funny thing about all these arguments and people trying to defend their hair type and all these things with the chart is that the person who created the hair type chart, Andre Walker himself, said that the only hair type that he would recommend people chemically relaxing, I'm gonna let you just guess. I'm gonna just let you guess which hair type do you think he said requires, he would suggest needs to get relaxed / permed? Type 4 hair. He was quoted in a magazine as saying he always encourages people to embrace their natural hair. However, the only hair texture that he would recommend needs to be chemically altered or relaxed is hair that falls in the type 4 category. And y'all, these are the same people who are fighting tooth and nail in this hair typing system. And the person who created the system believes that your natural hair, if you think that you have type 4 hair that you're arguing in the comments about, he believes that your hair is a type of hair that needs to be chemically relaxed to go back to appearing like what he put in the beginning of the chart, which is type 1 hair. He believes that type 4 hair has, and I quote him, limited styling options, which is why he suggests type 4 hair be the hair that would require and need a relaxer. And I've seen people style their type 4 hair beautifully. And it's beautiful even without it being styled all the way down. It's beautiful in its own glory, right? So what is he seeing that type 4 hair lacks that he feels that that's the only hair type out of all the hair types he named on that chart that he would recommend chemically relaxing? So I will say the hair type chart wasn't all bad because it did allow people to create search terms to better find the hair that they wanted to see. So guys, this hair type chart definitely has had some tumultuous times, and also the hair type chart has been abused, let's be honest, by natural hair companies because they began to use the hair type chart and they began to slap it on products and have those products sell very, very well, even if, you know, those products are using the same exact ingredients as herbal essence, because they know that, you know, using the number and the lettering system of the hair type chart, if you put it on a product, it's going to sell because consumers are going to be drawn to that because they're going to believe that the end and the beginning, the alpha and the omega of natural hair, they're going to believe that it all lies in the hair type chart, and it simply doesn't. There is just way more to natural hair than just this hair typing system. So I think we should take this hair type chart with a grain of salt, apply it where we feel like we need to apply it, and then move on. But guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel, clicking on that notification bell so that way you know whenever I post more videos. But as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.